As we all know, the rules about getting together with friends during COVID are different depending on where you live. We all look forward to when this is all over and we can entertain inside again. For now, though, unless medical officials in your area specifically advise against it, having a few people over outside at a safe distance seems to be the way to go. Arren's back now, and this time he's in his garden. Hey, Arren.
I am. It's a little chilly, actually. And you know what? It's going to be getting colder, too. But we have to make it work. So it's about hanging out with friends safely and securely, as you mentioned, but making sure that you do have that social interaction because it is so important. And we can't just all be on Zoom all the time. So let's deal with the outdoors. So it's about reclaiming that space. For us, we have a spot in the garden that literally our two dogs, all they used it for was chasing squirrels. So we're taking back that space and we put in a fire pit. Now, there are lots of restrictions on fire pits. Ours is natural gas. You can get propane ones too, but most municipalities don't allow open fire burning. It's one of those things that's not allowed. So do check what those restrictions are. The unit we went with is from Decor Concrete. It's Canadian made, and it pumps out a very hefty and very warm 65,000 BTU, so it is quite toasty. Now, you obviously need to use a licensed contractor. That's very important. And the other thing to mention is, however far you are away from your initial gas attachments in the house, it actually will depend on how much BTU you can end up having on the unit. So the further away, the lower you could end up potentially having as far as the heat that will be coming out of the unit. Something to keep in mind for sure.
Ooh, okay, that's a really good point there, Arren. It looks warm and cozy, though. Tell me a little bit about the seating.
So you got to get comfortable because you are going to be hanging out, hopefully with a drink in hand. And for us, we had two benches that were built a long time ago, and I decided I could not face refinishing them. So we are embracing the worn look that they have, but we're funking it up with great comfortable cushions. We had a bench seat made, and we came up with a color palette of using gray and black and kind of an off-white. Very easy color combination, but we did it because we knew that things might get a bit dirty, so we didn't want to have to worry about that too much. But we actually used indoor fabric because we know that those cushions are going to be coming in and going out. They're not going to be staying out there all winter long. Now, the other thing to think about too is you have to stay warm. So I actually made blankets, found some fantastic polar fleece yardage. It just doesn't even need sewing. All you need is a sharp pair of scissors, and a 2-meter length makes a very generous blanket. And the great thing about them too is obviously you need to wash them each time you have visitors. They wash and dry so fast, they're perfect, and they're terribly cozy.
That is such a good idea, and you know what, a really good point, because you need something that you can wash every time, and polar fleece is really warm. You're so good. Now, you have some really nice shrubs, too, for a touch of greenery. Tell us about that, Arren.
We do. So the space was designed with kind of a green wall on either side of it. The perfect thing now for us is that it actually works really well as a windbreak, so it helps to keep the space that little bit cozier. But we've added some sophistication and some lighting in there, too, by using the evergreen and filling it up with beautiful little twinkle lights. And above that, we actually have hung Edison bulbs on the pergola as well. But you know what? That just adds to all the atmosphere. So you can really layer up the lighting if you're hanging out there for a few hours in the evening. But we've got you warm on the outside, but we also have to get you warm on the inside too. So I was lucky enough to head to Switzerland as a kid to go skiing. And my favorite memory is actually drinking something called Glühwein, which is a spiced mulled wine. Delicious tasting and so good on a chilly day. But the great thing about it, if you are looking for something that's non-alcoholic, is that actually IKEA has a non-alcoholic juice-based version. Comes in a bottle, ready to go. Just heat it up and take a sip. You're going to be transported to winter in Switzerland for sure.
Arren, thanks a lot for